He was wild. He was unstoppable. He was the Prince of Darkness. But after years of health battles, the voice that changed rock has finally gone silent. Ozzy Osbourne is dead at 76. And what happened in his final days may surprise you. Ozzy Osbourne, a name that defined rebellion, shock, and musical genius, has passed away at the age of 76. The news was confirmed on July 22, 2025, after years of declining health. His family, including wife Sharon Osbourne, released a short but emotional statement. He was surrounded by love at the end. He gave the world everything he had. He never stopped fighting. And that's the truth. Ozzy didn't go quietly. He fought. For years, he battled through chronic pain, Parkinson's disease, and multiple major surgeries. But he kept creating. He kept showing up. And he kept reminding the world why his name mattered, not just in rock, but in culture itself. Let's rewind. John Michael Ozzy Osbourne was born in Birmingham, England, in 1948. By the late 60s, he'd already found his voice in music. But it wasn't until 1970, when Black Sabbath released their self-titled debut, that things changed forever. The band didn't just play hard. They played dark, mysterious, heavy. It was a new sound, one that helped give birth to heavy metal as we know it. Ozzy's eerie vocals, Tony Iommi's crushing riffs, Geezer Butler's dark lyrics. Together, they created something terrifying and brilliant. By the mid-70s, Ozzy was a rock god, but also an addict. He was famously fired from Black Sabbath in 1979 for substance abuse and chaos offstage. But in true Ozzy fashion, that wasn't the end. It was the beginning of a new era. His solo career exploded. Albums like Blizzard of Oz, Diary of a Madman, and No More Tears turned him into a global icon. Songs like Crazy Train, Mr. Crowley, and Mama, I'm Coming Home weren't just hits. They were cultural milestones. He toured the world. He sold out arenas. He shocked the press. And, yes, in 1982, during a live performance, he bit the head off a bat. It became the most infamous moment in rock history. And in a weird way, the ultimate symbol of Ozzy's career. Wild, terrifying, unforgettable. But underneath the shock and chaos, Ozzy was more than an image. He was a gifted vocalist, a loving father, and, eventually, a surprising reality TV star. In 2002, the Osbournes debuted on MTV. It showed Ozzy, Sharon, and their children Jack and Kelly navigating life offstage. It was messy, hilarious, and shockingly human. Suddenly, millions who had feared him adored him. Ozzy went from the guy who might be possessed to the rock star dad who couldn't figure out the TV remote. It gave him new life. But behind the scenes, his health was beginning to decline. In 2003, Ozzy had a near-fatal ATV crash that left him with a broken collarbone, ribs, and a damaged vertebra. That injury would haunt him for the rest of his life. In 2019, he fell in his home and aggravated that spinal damage, dislodging metal rods placed during previous surgery. The result? Severe pain, nerve damage, and mobility issues. The same year, he was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, a degenerative neurological condition. But Ozzy kept showing up. He released a solo album in 2020 called Ordinary Man, followed by Patient Number 9 in 2022, both albums praised by critics and fans alike. But touring? That became impossible. By early 2023, he announced his official retirement from touring. In his own words, "I never imagined my touring days would end this way. My singing voice is fine, but after 3 surgeries, stem cell treatments, and physical therapy, my body is just too weak." It was one of the hardest admissions of his life. But fans never stopped believing in him, and he never stopped loving them. In July 2025, Ozzy made his final public appearance during a private Black Sabbath event in Birmingham. He was seated, quiet, smiling, a shadow of the man who once ruled stages, but no less powerful. Witnesses say it felt like a goodbye, not because of what he said, he didn't say much, but because of the look in his eyes. Peaceful, grateful, finished. Just a few weeks later, on July 22, 2025, his death was confirmed. He died peacefully, at home, with his family beside him. The tributes were instant and global. Tony Iommi, his longtime bandmate, called him irreplaceable. Sharon Osbourne said, "He was wild. He was brilliant. He was Ozzy, and we'll never see anyone like him again." Fans flooded social media with memories, from concerts to album drops, from headbanging in their teens to laughing at the Osbournes with their parents. One fan wrote, "Ozzy made me feel like being weird was powerful. That being loud could be beautiful. And maybe that's what made Ozzy special. He wasn't perfect. Far from it. But he was real. He was honest about his demons. He didn't hide his failures. And even when his body broke down, his spirit stayed loud." Ozzy sold over 100 million records. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He changed music, and he made people feel alive. He turned darkness into something electric. He made the devil horns a symbol of community, and he proved that chaos, when channeled, could become art. But more than anything, Ozzy reminded us to live unapologetically, to be loud, to be weird, to be flawed, and to never stop showing up. Even as his voice faded, even when his legs gave out, Ozzy kept moving, kept singing, kept being Ozzy. Now, the silence feels deafening. But even in death, his music plays on. So what's your Ozzy story? Was it Crazy Train in your first car? Was it sneaking into a Sabbath show as a kid? Or was it watching him try to figure out the microwave on the Osbournes? Drop your favorite Ozzy moment in the comments. Let's fill this feed with memories, love, and the volume he always deserved. And if Ozzy made your world a little louder, subscribe, share, celebrate the legend. Rest in peace, Ozzy Osbourne, the Bat-Biter, the Mic Destroyer, the Family Man, the Prince of Darkness. You will never be replaced.